whether you believe it or not, there's people that you pass every day, that are just, they're ready to be recognized. There's people that we pass, that we work with, our families. There's plenty of people out there, that want to be heard, that want to be reminded that, there's a lot of good people in this world, and there's still people out there that care. There's people that want to be recognized and reminded that their work matters and they matter. And, there's people out there that just want to have friendships, want to meet other people that like doing the same things and want to experience life in the healthiest way and the best way. And there's people out there, they want to get away from the news and the politics and some of the junk that's going on out there. And there's good people every day that have a lot to offer. And I think it's a great thing to try to find these people, by doing good in this world and encouraging others and reminding people that, most of us are just trying to live a good life. Most of us are wanting to experience all the good that we possibly can, for the limited time that we're here. And a lot of like-minded people out there, a lot of individuals that, want to hear from you, want to not just hear that, they're appreciated or that they're wanted or, that they got a friend standing right there in front of them, but, they're willing to give just as much or more. And I know sometimes we experience loss, either death or people fall off, right? Sometimes family and friends turn their back, or sometimes it's us that feel it's time to kind of move on with our lives. And sometimes that group, that circle can start to get a little smaller, and you may start to feel like, I'm just better to live life on my own. I better do my own things. And, I'm just here today to say that there's a lot of people out there, that are ready to be friends. They're ready to experience good things in life. They're ready to, hang out and go do the same like-minded things, have the good conversations. And at the same time, there's people would love to hear from you, love to hear from you that, they're appreciated and that they're cared for and that they're loved and that they matter. And I think it's our duty. I think should be a must for human beings to, try to achieve some of this every day. It might be just holding the door for someone at the gas station, or picking something up for someone at the grocery store when they drop something, or, telling somebody, you like their outfit, or, maybe they got a nice vehicle and you take a moment to say, wow, that's nice. You must have worked hard for that. Good for you. Reminding people that there are good people out here, and me, you, we're one of them. And if you're like me, you're willing and ready to meet more people. You're willing and ready to meet good people out there who care, and honestly want to go and have a good time and experience life the best way possible. And I think I know ultimately this becomes a mindset, right? When you set out every day with the mindset that there's people out there that are ready to be recognized, and those same people have a lot to offer, and those same people could be good friends, when that's your mindset every day, that becomes your reality. All of a sudden you seem to keep meeting good people, people that will do for you. And it's not that we should strive or live our life, just looking for people that will, do something for us. But it's important to remind others that, hey, I'm here doing as good as I can. I'm here, trying to get back to this world, and especially on days when, we're going through something or something's tough or just having quote unquote bad day or whatever, those are the most important days where we should set our stuff aside and, be there for other people. That's one of the best things we can do when we're down, when we're depressed, when we're mad, angry, lost. Get out there and do some good for people. You'll see a lot of that stuff come back. You'll see a lot of the good in the world flood right back into your life. And in my opinion, one of the best ways to bounce back from some of the toughest days is to get out there and recognize people. Get out there and tell them how good of a job they're doing. Get out there and remind them that all this crap we're seeing on the news and stuff, that's not a reality in everybody's life. I mean, not every day is people that worried about, what the politics are doing or what the sports team's doing or what this person or that person's doing. Most people, they've got agendas, they've got kids, they've got sporting events, they've got things going on. And honestly, they're trying to live their life, But the more we get closed off and the more we're by ourselves, the more we start to believe that everybody's sitting around watching the news or protesting or breaking in buildings and destroying things. But the reality is that's actually a very, very small percentage of our population. And like I was saying at the beginning of this video, people are just waiting to be recognized, People are waiting to hear that, hey, all that stuff you're seeing and hearing, yeah, that might be a reality in a few people's life, but, a bulk of us are out here trying to do the right thing. A bulk of us are looking for friendships, and a bulk of us are just looking to find new hobbies and do new things in life. So just sticking to that mindset of I can either attract people in my life who are negative and draining and always expecting and wanting and, piss poor attitude when you're not doing for them, or I can attract the people out there that I can compliment who are going to compliment me back, and people out there that just want to be recognized, just want to be reminded and want to be heard, want to be reminded that people generally, overall, are genuinely good people, And when you're passing people every day, when we see these people in front of us, based off what they're wearing and driving, and it doesn't tell their whole story, It doesn't tell their reality. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know who they've lost. You don't know what they're currently going through. You don't know if they're moments away from checking out. So every day when you start to feel like, hey, maybe I should say something to this person, maybe I should greet this person, say hello, be kind. That's life reminding us that that person right in that moment could very well need your support, and these people are passing us every day, wanting to be recognized, wanting to be loved, wanting to be reminded that, hey, even when crap hits the fan, in which everybody's got something going on, there's good people out there who can be there for each other, support each other, and rock out and live this life until the wheels fall off, So if you know someone in your life who's struggling, or if you know someone who knows someone that's struggling, share this video with them. Listen to this back over as you go on a walk or whatever you do. Of course, I encourage frequent walks, as much as I walk. That's why I decided to create this channel. But, share this video. Remind them that there are people out here who care. And remind these people that you're not alone. And, if you got something out of it, listen to it again and, try to do something good for someone, that you might be passing by here today or tomorrow, or, as soon as you get the chance. And, just watch the joy flow into your life when you do a lot more good for other people.